Michael Roy Turney, and Sarah has put out a new one about the lie detector. And of course, she's again gaslighting you and taking things out of context. What she read to you was the end of a 6-page document with many details of how much lying that the Phoenix PD detectives Anderson and Summershoe did in order to get the search warrant. And again, that was something that obviously the chief of police was concerned with because the initial investigation was for homicide, not the plastic pipe bombs that they planted after they knew for sure that they wasn't going to have any evidence because it didn't happen, just that simple. So when Sarah leaves out the other 5 pages, that is misrepresenting and taking things out of context. But my demands became simply because all the people I named in this had either abused their power, like Susan R. Bolton, for political reasons, or had lied point blank and various parts of this thing. So I'm one of those kind of people. And look, let's just get everybody together. Let's get this thing resolved and find out who's who and who's telling what lies and whatever, and let's move forward. But that's never going to happen because that's not the way soap operas, witch hunts, or this tripe gossip with nothing but rumors, innuendos, and lies that turned into a criminal case that should have never happened to begin with, not even in 2008, and certainly not in 2020. It was all due to politics and Alistair Dell, the war on sexes, female move, looking for votes, whatever else you want to name it with. The evidence didn't exist because this task force of the Phoenix PD, with the assistance of the FBI and the National Center for Missing Exploited Children, who hired one of the best homicide detectives in this country, using your tax money, by the way, as a federal donation or money that they received. So, but on Sarah's request, again, lie detector tests, if you want to take one, go for it, but they are inherently inaccurate. They're based on too many factors. And again, I was involved in exposing a chief investigator from Maricopa County of selling his operation of lie detector tests in order for people to win, lose, or draw, whatever it was. So she could go ahead and hire one, and both of us take the test. Then I could turn around and hire one, and I can guarantee you there would be 2 different results because these people are in it for the money. They're not in it for the honesty. They're not in it for the truth. They're not in it for the facts. So I would probably come up showing that Cher was an absolute liar. She'd probably come up with I was an absolute liar. So it's one of those things that's been looked at extensively, and people react differently to phrases, statements. I mean, to me, anytime this incident is brought up, because the list still remains missing to me, and I had a factor involved in this as her parent, somehow should have prevented her from running away, is always going to cause me emotional problems for that. And no, I didn't kill her. No, I didn't molest her. For all of you soap opera people, look at his eyes. What's his eyes saying? So to take the test is a waste of money, is a waste of time. Again, Sarah's looking for ratings again, apparently, like a lot of people in TikTok when it was temporarily shut down. Probably cost a lot of people, a lot of business, sponsors in Sarah's case, and which is sad that they would disturb that way. But, TikTok may be, a possible consideration from what I saw from ABC and NBC and their tripe gossip garbage, selling soap operas instead of, facts, getting people stirred up, all for the fact it's just plain old soap operas. And that's disgusting. It's not news. It's not even media. It's just entertainment for those who want to watch that tripe gossip. But for me to take this test, I don't know if I'm really in the mood, but again, Sarah and I met at Peacock. She brought this up at the Peacock show. Like I told her, if you want to pay for it, that's up to you. But then Sarah walked off camera in a dramatic role to leave. So finding the details for her to pay for this, for her to set it up, she never did. So opportunities come and go. She had me in a situation where I would have said, hell yes, let's get this thing over with and do it. And then all of a sudden now out of nowhere, because her ratings are down, she wants to have something new to talk about, lie detector tests. Oh, I never really refused because Anderson never asked me until after I was in custody in the federal charges of the alleged plastic pipe bombs. Um, I think they were trying to get me to be a terrorist. This is all comes after 2001 and all this stuff. Really trying to sink it in, dig it deep, get rid of this nuisance I've been. And, Anderson and them, basically lied all the way through the affidavit, which could have cost them the case. And I do believe that it really did with Judge Sam Myers. He looked at the much amount of lying that was exposed on all these details, especially when it come to Alyssa, the $1,860, her not having any money, which she did. She was cashing her checks. All these things they failed to investigate like good investigators would. So I remember him calling me when I was in the federal detention, and the officer sitting there with me because it's not privileged. It's it's just a cop calling me, and he's telling me if I want to take a lie detector test, and I said only if you take it first. And then of course he refused to do that. Then he was trying to set up a situation with Sarah to use Sarah to get ABC to come over and do an interview. Who had this John Q had these notes on there with PPD sitting on it, questions specifically, because Anderson was trying to use media to get around me invoking my constitutional rights. Because I don't, once I realize that I'm dealing with a liar cop, I really don't want to talk to them anymore, because no matter what I say, they're going to manipulate it into something else. And this is the way it works, and why attorneys will tell you to keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything, don't make any statements, and then take the fifth. And if you want to take a lie detector test, it's just a tool, folks. That's all it really is. It doesn't give you the reality that this person is being honest or is not being honest, or she's a liar, or vice versa. If it brings peace of mind to someone, but cops use it to eliminate possible suspects. But in this case, Anderson and Summershoe lied to Sarah, according to police reports, that they had given John Lackman, the jealous boyfriend with a bad temper. And that, again, on your ratings as to high on the list of suspects would be just someone like that. And of course, they didn't give him a lie detector test. That was a lie. Again, a search warrant, the same thing. They didn't even go through eliminating anybody. They didn't check a lot of the things that I gave them. They just wrote them off, and they were only out to get one person. And that's exactly what that was. And that's a political investigation. That is not a homicide or an otherwise. So they got their 10 years out of Susan Bolton, appointed by Bill Clinton, because that's what she was there for, and why she's the only one out of 25 federal district judges that could get this, in spite of the political ramifications, the way it looked, and Clinton be involved in dismissing charges against a guy that was actually, after I reported labor racketeering, Clinton dismissed it. So she should have never had that case to begin with. And she denied me the evidence. So taking a lie detector for her, especially, I wanted to find out, did Willie C. tell you to do this or not? That would have been a good question to ask her for sure. And the rest of these people. So as far as Sarah's concerned, she had her chance. Her dramatics to shut off the Peacock to avoid me asking my questions pretty much will shut that door at that time. So she's gaslighting you folks. Good luck.